By now you know how much Trump loves to pardon. The pardons reliably have gone to political supplicants and those that have sufficiently both groveled to and praised the Donald. Names like Michael Flynn, Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, Steve Bannon, and others were examples of crooks who got sprung by the Donald for the past work. Then there were the politicians like the Rod Blagojeviches, the George Santos, and others who nakedly abused their offices but sent missives to our president that he could relate to their plight of being targeted by the feds for fraud, and they were big fans. Most notoriously, of course, were his blanket pardons of the January 6th insurrectionists on the first day back in office. 1,600 men and women, all convicted or awaiting trial, were given a get-out-of-jail-free card. More than 600 of the rioters had been convicted or pled guilty to assaulting law enforcement, and 170 of them using a deadly weapon in the process. Every last one of them were celebrated for those actions by this president, and he even called them patriots. In addition to what they did that awful day on live TV, many had arrest records for very serious offenses before that day. When asked why there was no distinctions made between the 1,600, Trump dismissively said he didn't have the time. Since the pardon, many have been rearrested for charges including but not limited to soliciting a minor, plotting to kill FBI agents, fatal drunk driving, domestic violence, sexual assault, pedophilia, and other horrific offenses. The shameful condoning of a traitorous attack on our democracy, the assault of law enforcement, and indifference to the animals released onto the streets were a precursor to another class of pardon beneficiaries, those who will reward the president for their freedom. A week ago, President Trump was asked in a 60 Minutes interview why he chose to pardon Changpeng Zhao, the founder of Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, and if the decision had anything to do with Binance's involvement in his family business.
In 2025, his crypto exchange Binance helped facilitate a $2 billion purchase of World Liberty Financial's stablecoin. And then you pardoned CZ. How do you address the appearance of pay for play?
Well, here's the thing. I know nothing about it because I'm too busy doing the other.
But he got a pardon.
I can only tell you this. My sons are into it. I'm glad they are because it's probably a great industry, crypto. I think it's good. You know, they're running a business. They're not in government.
Now, before I get to that pay for play, let me remind you why CZ was in prison in the first place. In evidence presented at trial, texts from Binance's chief compliance officer to his boss were revealed that said in part that some of its customers, and I quote here, like, come on, they are here for crime. A colleague agreed, saying, we see the bad, but we close two eyes, end quote. The then Treasury Secretary said that Binance's willful failures to police who was trading money on their platform allowed money to flow to terrorists like Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, to cyber criminals, to organized crime, and to child abusers, including pedophile rings. This is who President Trump said he was too busy to look into before he used his pardon power, and who he chose to do business with. Please, take a moment and let that sink in. Then consider that at no other point in American history, with all the political crooks we've had before, have we ever seen a presidential pardon issued for the president's own personal enrichment and that of his business. Now, these are the scandals, I believe, that should command the national attention even more than the distractions like the midnight presidential tweet storms or even the grotesque White House teardown. The occupant of the office of the presidency historically considered the privilege of serving the American public a singular honor. For the first time, we have a man in the Oval Office who is shaping domestic and international policy, extorting businesses, media, universities, law firms, and using the power of the pardon all to put billions in his own pockets. That he's doing this with convicted felons seems all the more appropriate.